I am Taylor Rogers. I am the bride's niece and now also the groom's niece. And I'm actually the youngest of, I think there might be like at least 10 of us. So, yes, she's also my best friend.
Awesome. So what's it feel like to see their wedding day here and you being a part of it?
I think this is like one of the best days of every single person's life because my aunt is like the most loving person. She showed up for me in ways like I absolutely cannot express. And like to be able to do that for her on this day, and it's literally what she's envisioned, like the hotel that she's envisioned, the man that she's envisioned, all these people are here. Obviously, like it's gonna be a beautiful day, but like I'm just more excited for her to finally like fulfill this dream that she's been working on for so many months.
Well, that's beautiful. And it is a beautiful day. So um, we're going to ask some fun questions, predictions about their lives, things like that.
Okay.
So first question we've got to know is, what was it like, growing up around her and spending all that time? Any fun stories, things you look back on and remember all the times you guys spent together?
I think if you ask any of my cousins, we will all like go back to this one area in our life where she would do auntie's camp. That is like the thing that I remember most about my childhood. She would basically call up all of our parents, like my mom, my cousin's mom, my other cousin's mom, and she'd be like, okay, you guys go on vacation and I will take all the kids, all however many of us were available, and she would feed us, she'd make sure we had clothes, she'd make us sign permission slips so we had our allergies and our medications and literally whatever any cousin possibly needed, and she would take us 4 days on it, and she would take us to amusement parks. I think Hershey Park is the one that everyone remembers the most. That one was hilarious. She would drive everywhere, like rent out a big car, drive us everywhere, and it was the time of my life. Like, it was so funny. And she still does that. Like, for my graduation, I think 3 years ago now, she rented out a bus, put 50 people on this bus. She found my favorite, like, 5 things I've ever eaten my entire life and the people that make them and had them make it. And everyone brought pictures of me and dresses and all these things, and they all showed up to Penn State, and it was like this big extravagant thing. So I think like more than anything in the world, like the thing you can note about my aunt is like when she shows up big, and she did that my entire childhood. I think there is not a time that I can just be like, oh yeah, that was my favorite, because I can always think of another, like whether it was auntie's camp or in 3rd grade she came and like randomly showed up to my school. And she was like, yeah, I'm chaperoning this field trip. And she had like a sandwich little maker. And she was like, you get 2 meats, 1 cheese. You pick the bread that you want, white or wheat. You got to pick your toppings, 1 tomato, 2 pieces of lettuce, 1 bag of chips. And everyone would come through line. Like my friends would come and they'd be like, can I get this, this, and this? And she's like, 1 meat, no 2 meat. And everyone would make a thing. She put out some like little picnic tables that she bought. It was the most extravagant thing ever, and that's literally how every event in my life was when she came around.
That is amazing. Now, she's a professional planner to begin with, so she is so organized. It makes me wonder when she gets a chance to rest.
I know. Hopefully she's resting right now.
I hope so. Maybe on their honeymoon. I'm not sure where they're going or what they're doing. Who knows? All right. So some fun predictions about their lives, or better yet, before we skip into that, about fun predictions for today. So even though they're going to see each other and we're going to do pictures and everything before, when the times get tense, the ceremony's going on, and she starts walking down the aisle, between John and Melissa, when they lock eyes, if there are any happy tears shed, who do you predict will cry first?
Uncle John is crying 100%. I think he might cry before the doors are even open. I think he might cry on his walk up to the altar. And then we'll continue crying when he sees her. And then she'll cry and do like a little laugh and then try not to ruin her makeup. And then they'll embrace and then they'll cry like a little bit more. And then everyone will be like,
everyone was emotional yesterday, last night.
My family, like, one thing about them, like, they get overwhelmed with emotions. They will cry.
It'll be a beautiful moment.
Yes.
So some fun predictions about their lives.
Yes.
How many, let's see, do they have any children together?
Not together, but Uncle John does have children,
Okay.
and I mean, if you count all of the cousins, we are her kids too. So they treat me like their child. So I think they have plenty of kids.
So jumping forward into the future, how many grandchildren, if you had to pick a number out of a hat, how many grandchildren, when they look back on this 20 years from now, how many grandchildren do you think they might have?
If I'm thinking about all the people that I know, I'm gonna go with 8.
8?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with more girls than guys. So at least 5 of them will be girls.
Okay. 5 girls and 4 boys, maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Here's a fun one to dream about. We all dream about this. I don't know if they play the lottery or not, but we all dream about it from time to time, especially ones like, what, a couple of weeks ago, $1.7 billion.
I know, Powerball, yes.
Goodness. If they were to win the lottery, they've got $500 million in the bank, more money than they know what to do with. Where do you think they would want to settle down and maybe build their forever dream home?
So, and me and my aunt have talked about this because she plays the Powerball, and I just played the Powerball for the first time last week. I didn't hit, but my aunt loves the cold. When I say like loves the cold, I mean if it could snow every day of the year, she would be at bliss. 20 degrees is ideal. The weather outside right now, she's eating it up. It is like 26 degrees and a stiff breeze, and she loves every moment of it. She actually prayed for it, and we were all like, it's not happening. It's 70 degrees in Atlanta. And yesterday came around and it dropped exactly to what her perfect wedding is ideally going to be. So I think they would keep a home in Atlanta because our family's here. But I feel like she would build a home in like Vermont or Maine. And Uncle John, like whatever she wants, I know that he would be down for. They really do like to like travel and do like little vacations and stuff like that. They've done some staycations, I believe. So I feel like it'd be nice to have a home in a place that you could just like hop and skip to, but it would have to be in a cold place for sure. And then out of the country, I feel like maybe like northern Italy would be really nice. It gets pretty cold up there. She's not like a skier by any means. I've never seen my aunt ski, but like a ski village, I know she's in love with that idea. Like the whole snow falling and everyone in bundled up coats and whatever the case is. So definitely something cold because she keeps her car at about at least 50 degrees, so she's gonna try and freeze you out. So I think if she could just like stay in a place where it was always 50 degrees, like she would do it.
Well, that much money, they could buy a home, all over the
places.
World and a private jet and fly you guys around. That'd be fun.
I know, and the private jet would probably be 45 degrees.
Okay. What about some advice for them? So married life comes with challenges. There's stress from all sorts of outside factors. What's some advice you might give your aunt and Uncle John for maybe when, I jokingly say when they're not seeing eye to eye, or maybe they don't want to see each other at all in the heat of the moment.
Right.
What's some advice you want to give these two?
They're both very level-headed individuals, and I think they very much so like met their match. The way they communicate, the way they approach everything. So I think my only advice would be like, remember why after all those years everyone came together on this day to like celebrate them, because we genuinely think that they are all like a perfect match. I could not have imagined a better man for her, and I know she thinks that every single day, and you can like see it when they look at each other. But at least they'll have these videos to look back on when they do forget, and I think that'll remind them of like, oh yeah, back in 2025 and 2026, it's going into the new year. This is what made all of this meaningful, and this is what matters. But they have such like strong faith in God, and I know the two of them like care so much about making that a foundation in their relationship. So I know like they don't need advice from a 23-year-old. Like, I'm sure they'll turn to God, and he knows more than I could ever know, and I'm sure he will advise them many beautiful things.
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. All right, finally, to wrap it up, the sentimental things that you want to say to your aunt and to your Uncle John.
Yes.
And when they look back on this 50 years from now, their golden wedding anniversary, and they're yelling at the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, get out of the flower bed. Just planted those. What do you hope they've accomplished in life?
I know that, like, they are two of the hardest working individuals in the entire world, and that no matter where they go and what they do, they're going to be successful, and everyone around them is going to be successful. So I just, like, hope them the most peace that they could possibly have in the entire world. They know this, my family knows this, but, like, I lost my parents a few years ago, and my aunt has done an amazing job at just, like, stepping into every role that I think my mom could have ever done in my life. She calls me on long car rides, and she helped me move into every single apartment. Uncle John helped me move into my new apartment, and they just, like, love so openly and so amazingly that, like, I wish them nothing but to feel that love every single day, because I know what they do for me, and I can't even imagine what they do for each other. But I know even in 20, 30 years, like, we're all still going to be a witness to how amazing and beautiful their love is, because you can see it today, you can see it on her face, you can see it on his face. They have waited a lifetime for each other, and today is a really big deal, because this was exactly how it was meant to play out. This is exactly God's plan, and I love her so much, and I love him so much, and they are like parents to me in so many ways. So it's like seeing my mom and dad, like, renew vows is what it feels like, because we already know that they love each other, are going to spend a life with each other. So I'm just happy to be a witness, and I hope that in many years I can be a person that'd be like, hey guys, like, I hope you guys are feeling peace and happiness, but if you want to come over to dinner at my house and maybe cook a little and help me with the laundry and rebuild this furniture, I'd really like that too, and I know they'll be excited about it. So I just wish them, like, the fullest life that two people could ever have.
Sure. My name is Krista Fields. I am Melissa Fields, or Aunt Melissa as I call her, oldest niece. She is actually she's my aunt that, it's very funny for me to say this, but she's one of the aunts that I consider as, like, an older sister in a way. And she has been a part of my life ever since I was born. I like to think of her as someone that has kind of mentored me and kind of watched my evolution as a woman, and she's been coaching me in many ways, not only through love and life, but also how to stay connected with family. I came to know John when she introduced us to him, I want to say 1.5 years ago. I think I met him just kind of as a casual evening kind of pizza and drinks kind of thing, and I knew from the very first moment that she introduced us to him that this was someone that was going to be a special person in her life. So that's how I've gotten to know them.
So he made good first impressions when you met him. Beautiful. Yeah. So when did you start getting the feeling that there might be an announcement coming soon and maybe a wedding?
Sure. Believe it or not, before I even met him. So I want to say around the time they started dating, not necessarily knowing that they were dating, she used terminology that was saying, like, I can't wait for you to have an uncle in your life, or, I'm looking forward to the days when me and your uncle will do these sort of things. And I was like, ooh, well, there's someone to look forward to. And so when I eventually met, which I now call Uncle John, that kind of sealed the deal for me that was the person she was envisioning.
Wow, that's beautiful. So what's it feel like to be a part of the wedding today and to see their day finally here, just a few hours away?
Right. It's a moment that is not only going to be shared amongst us all, but it's going to be remembered for us all, and it's a moment that I've always wanted for them, specifically for Aunt Melissa. I know I have this, like, it's a nervous, anxious excitement that I'm imagining she probably may not feel, because I think they've come to a place in their life where they are very firm in their faith and understanding that they want to walk in marriage together. But I have this natural excitement because of the possibilities and the holidays and the traditions that we'll kind of share together. Witnessing that with them makes me happy.
And they won't be able to forget their anniversary because New Year's Eve. That's an easy reminder. So
Exactly.
That's perfect. So we're going to have some fun predictions. We're asking a lot of people these same questions to get your take on what might happen today.
Okay.
So even though they're gonna see each other when we do pictures and everything, when the ceremony festivities begin, everything's kind of serious, and she comes walking down the aisle, the music's playing. Between the two of them, if there are any happy tears shed, and I think there will be because there were yesterday, who do you think will cry first, John or Melissa?
So can I add another person to this
You
mix?
certainly can.
I actually think my dad, her brother, will cry first. And he's just a natural person that when he has like a nice happy moment is easy to like turn pink, as we describe it. And I think by becoming pink, as we say, and shedding the first tear, it will be a natural tear for my Aunt Melissa. And then maybe Uncle John as well. So the trio amongst themselves, and of course everyone in the audience, there's not going to be a dry eye in sight.
Yeah, there were happy tears last night just at rehearsals, so I definitely think we'll have some beautiful moments to see.
Sure.
So what about their lives if you could jump forward in time, say 20 years from now?
Okay.
And you had to pick a number out of a hat on prediction of how many grandchildren they'll be spoiling and sending back to everybody. How many do you think, and is it a ratio of boys to girls or girls to boys? What do you think?
That's a good question. You know, I've never asked my Aunt Melissa her thoughts about having children. Obviously, that's a choice that they would make for themselves. I like to think of us as her children in many ways because she shepherded our lives in more ways than one. We use the terminology of the tribe, and my brothers and I and my cousins, all, I guess, almost 10 of us, I like to think of us as her children. And so naturally, if any of us were to have kids, some of us already do, that would multiply. So upwards of 10 and more, perhaps.
Wow, they're going to be busy.
Exactly.
But the fun part is they get to spoil them and then send them back home. That's always the fun part.
Exactly.
All right, here's one to dream about. This one we all think about from time to time, even if we don't play the lottery. But that 1.7 billion it was just a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's say Melissa called you up one evening and said, "Girl, I can't believe it." You're like, "What in the world's going on?" She's bouncing off the walls. They've just won $500 million. A lot of money.
Yeah.
What do you think they would want to do with all of that money, and where would they want to build like a vacation home, getaway home, staycation home? What do you think?
Well, I like your thinking. Believe it or not, I've talked to Melissa about the lottery winner kind of conversation. I may not get it exactly right. I know she does play lottery. I know she has a servant spirit in that she would certainly do something for the family, kind of how you alluded to. I even think she's made a phrase like giving each of us like a special gift in terms of an amount that we can do or something that we can experience as a family. So I have that in mind. And then we used to live, or not we, our great grandmother, so her grandmother, we call her Sugar Pie affectionately, she lived outside of Richmond in the country, and there was a really nice white house that they grew up in and built. And so some part of me thinks not necessarily it would be in Gushland County, but there might be a family home that might be built with those funds. So
it's fun to dream about.
Yeah.
And I hear she loves cold weather. Well, I'm the opposite. I like the warm weather. I'd be in the Caribbean, but she might buy a chateau in the Alps or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Fun to dream about. All right, now switching to a serious subject. Married life comes with stresses from time to time. There's work, kids, grandkids, health, you name it. And I jokingly say sometimes they may not see eye to eye on a topic. In the heat of the moment, if they're spatting, they may not want to see each other at all.
Yeah.
what's some advice that you might want to lend to these two? I know they're firmly rooted in their faith and it's beautiful, but still, outside things can happen.
Yeah.
So what's some advice you want to give them for maybe when they're not getting along at the moment?
Right. I know I see a lot of advice that is geared to couples around focusing on the problem itself and not the words in which you're exchanging around the problem to each other. And so always staying centered on like, how do we tackle the problem versus how do I fix the other person or get the other person to view the things that I see in the way that I do. I think that sort of orientation to problem solving is the right approach. So that's how
That's beautiful advice. I've heard that put several ways, but a lot of people say it's 99% of the arguments are you guys against the situation, not against each other.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Finally, the sentimental things, the best wishes that you hope they look back on, whether it's 20 or 50 years from now. They look back, what do you want to say to them, and what do you hope they've accomplished in life?
Sure. My hope for them is that they live the life they want to live together in the way in which they want to live it. If there were things that they wanted to have a partner to do in life, that they find those moments to do them together. And so I say, live life to the fullest and maximize and optimize the life that you have together. And, create the joy and the memories that you've always done with us, but in partnership.
My name is Nina Fields. I'm married to Melissa's brother, Victor Fields. Did I answer the question?
Yes, ma'am, you did. So what's it feel like to see their wedding day here and being a part of all the celebration and festivities? What's it feel like?
This is a great feeling. I am extremely happy for Melissa and John. And I've just enjoyed being with them and spending time with them and seeing how their love has grown.
Beautiful. So we've had some fun interview questions already. We're going to get your take on what might happen today and then about their lives. So just for fun. Now, yesterday at rehearsal, it was kind of emotional. Everybody was crying. They were having a great time. A lot of fond memories of family members, present and past.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to see each other, at least when we do pictures, they're already going to see each other. So no surprises when she walks down the aisle, but still it's going to be emotional.
Correct.
So if you had to predict, if you had to pick who's going to cry first, Melissa or John, when they see each other at the ceremony?
Wow. Well, I'm just going to go with Melissa. And I will definitely go with my husband. He'll be walking her down the aisle, so we will see if there's any emotion.
Yeah, he's going to have some happy tears like he did yesterday. So
Right.
it'll be a beautiful tear fest. All right. What about predictions for the reception? Now, when people start getting crazy, having fun, the party gets going, who should we keep our cameras trained on for the most hilarious moment? Maybe a funny dance or a speech, toast, you name it.
Wow. I don't know if I have a great answer. I think you're going to see a lot of personality tonight because it's New Year's Eve and it's a great, happy celebration. So I'm just going to say keep your camera rolling, Billy.
Oh, we'll have many cameras rolling, so it should be entertaining at least. And then the fireworks at midnight, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, now skipping forward to fun predictions about their lives. Never know what's going to happen, but when they look back on this video 20 years from now, if you had to pull a number out of a hat to guess, how many grandchildren do you predict that they'll be spoiling and then sending back home to the parents?
How many grandchildren? That means children before grandchildren. So I'm just going to give a number like 3.
3. 2 boys, 1 girl, 2 girls, 1 boy.
2 girls and 1 boy.
2 girls and 1 boy. And like I said, that way they can spoil them and then send them back home. That's the fun part.
That's the send them back home part.
Yeah, that's the easy part. All right. Now for a fun one. We all dream about this.
Okay.
Let's say Melissa called you up. Oh my goodness, girl, you won't believe this. They've just won the lottery. They've won $700 million. Got it in the bank. Cash money. What do you think they would want to do with all of that money? And where would they maybe build a forever dream home or a condominium, barn-dominium, mansion, castle?
Well, I'm gonna first say I happen to know that there's a certain vehicle that Melissa likes. So I'm gonna go with a Porsche. I can't tell you the number, but I think there's some kind of Porsche associated if they win the lottery. And as far as location, I think they're gonna need multiple. And the reason I say that is Melissa happens to enjoy the cold.
That's
So,
what I hear.
I'm gonna predict somewhere chilly and then somewhere tropical.
Ooh, there we go. Now the tropical is my kind of thing, but maybe she'll buy a chateau in the Alps or somewhere.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
And a
'cause
private jet to fly all the family and friends around to come
of
visit.
course,
There you
of
go.
course.
Fun to dream about. All right, now switching to a serious subject. Married life comes with challenges. I can attest to that, and I'm sure my wife would too. There's times when maybe they don't see eye to eye. I say this jokingly. There's other times when they don't see each other at all when they're having a heated discussion. What's some advice you might give these two to keep their relationship fun and reflect back on the things they should?
Well, I think you kind of hit on it. I think if you focus on the important things, because sometimes you have a misunderstanding and it could be something really simple. And I think before you get to that, I think not letting things build up so you don't end up with the explosion, even though explosions happen. But just keeping the lines of communication. I don't know where I should be looking. Straight
You're
there.
doing fine.
Keeping the lines of communication open, and then just kind of heading off things, I think is important.
That's beautiful. It's hard sometimes,
It
like
is
you say, in the heat of the moment. Everybody's got their opinion, but
Mhm.
good advice. Okay, finally, to wrap it up, the best wishes, the things you want to say to them, and when they look back on this maybe 50 years from now, at their golden wedding anniversary, got great grandchildren they're yelling at, get out of the flower bed, I just planted those, whatever they're doing. What do you hope they've accomplished in life?
Well, Melissa and John, I just want to say I'm so happy for you, and it's just really rewarding to be here and celebrate with you. And I would say, as you look back, what did we say, 30 years from now, 50 years from now? I hope you keep that glow that you have in your hearts today, and I pray that it continues as you move forward and continues to grow.
Yes, I'm Kara Pitts. I am Melissa's nephew's girlfriend.
Awesome. So what's it feel like to be not only seeing the wedding taking place, but being a part of it today?
It's been amazing, but also I think a blessing. It just shows the testament of like their love, but also I think their kindness, and also how they care about their family, and also extensions of their family. And just for her to even fit me in to do the makeup or be a part of the experience, I think that just says a lot about them as a couple, but also Melissa as well. Just her giving heart and how big of a heart she has.
Rehearsal last night was so pretty, incorporating all the family, remembering all the folks that have passed. It is beautiful.
Yeah. No, unfortunately I wasn't able to see, but my boyfriend was a part of it, and he said it was amazing. But also I think it's the sentimental value as well, and just how, commemorated people who aren't here, but also just everyone coming together and having an excuse to come together, and especially around New Year's, and what that means to bring in a new year together. So it was definitely just well thought out, but also just very touching as well from what I've heard.
Lifelong memories made today.
Of course,
That's
of
beautiful.
course.
All right, so we're going to have some fun. We've already interviewed a lot of folks. We're going to
Okay.
continue to interview a lot more and ask these same questions just for fun, see if it happens.
Okay.
So they're already going to see each other when we do pictures and things like that. So they said they're not superstitious, not worried about that.
Okay.
But still, when they see each other at the ceremony,
Okay.
Melissa comes walking down the aisle, John turns around, sees her, vice versa. If you had to pick between the two of them, who do you think might tear up and cry first?
I think Melissa.
I think Melissa might have
I
some
think so.
happy
I
tears
think both
first.
of them will, but I just definitely think that as we're coming together, and especially as a family, and just seeing, grandma, you know, just seeing the family and just seeing how all this came together and everyone's there, I think it definitely will hit her if it hasn't already. But I think definitely then seeing John as well, I think she's going to be, pretty emotional.
Yesterday, there were a lot of emotions. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
But,
I imagine. I was thinking, like, will the emotions yesterday trump? I'm like, no, I think it's just once you're in the moment. But I did misspeak. I meant to say her mother, seeing her, I think as well, and how emotional she's going to be. I think that I told my role will be bringing Kleenex. I think
You have an
I will be.
important role.
I know I will be handing out a lot. I think there
You
will
better
be
bring a
no
jumbo
dry eye.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think. But I think Melissa potentially. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, now for some just fun predictions, speculations about their lives.
Yeah.
Don't know how many grandchildren they'll eventually wind up with, but if you had to pick a number, when they look back on this 25 years from now, how many do you predict grandchildren they'll have total?
I'll say solid 3.
Solid 3. That's
Yeah.
the second one we've had for 3.
Yeah,
we've
I
had
think so.
10. We've had. A lot.
Yeah, I come from a big family, and you know, I think it's one of those things. I think they want to travel, they want to explore the world, but I think 3. I think that's a solid number. Yeah,
There you
for
go.
right now.
2 boys, 1 girl. 2 girls, 1 boy. Or all the
think-
same.
I'll say 2 boys, 1 girl.
2 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah,
All
sorry,
right.
Melissa.
There's a prediction. I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll be happy no matter how it turns out.
Of
Because
course.
the fun thing is they can spoil them and then send them home.
Oh yeah,
Like, all right, you've had enough candy, time to go home.
Right. I think they're gonna be like, here are the gifts, that's it, and then
Yeah,
they want to
there you
travel.
go.
Yeah, they're gonna be the cool hip ones. So yeah.
So speaking of travel, that's a perfect segue to the next segment here.
Okay.
Fun to dream about. Let's say, Melissa, you get a phone call. Melissa's just bouncing off the walls. Oh my goodness, girl, you won't believe what happened. They've just won $700 million.
Okay,
They've won the Powerball.
Okay.
What do you think they would want to do with all that money? And where might they build their forever dream home, mansion, condominium, barn-dominium, castle?
I will say, from her nephew, Melissa loves driving. And so I know she runs cars to the ground. And so I think one of those would be probably getting a new car. I could see that. And also John to match. You know, I think they can have a nice matching luxury car. I would say they would spend the rest probably on traveling or family. I could see that. But I think traveling, especially how excited she is about the honeymoon and just being able to experience that with each other, I think that's great. But I definitely think traveling. Settling wise, I don't see them leaving the state. I think with her brother being 4 hours away and her mother being close as well, I don't think they will. I think they're gonna stay. I don't know if it'll be in Douglasville, but maybe Atlanta, a little closer to downtown. So that's kind of where I see that they're gonna settle around here.
Nice. Just stay here and then
Yeah.
travel the
Yeah.
world. Fly
But-
everybody around.
But you're not limited. You can definitely come to DC, come to Virginia where we are. We would love to have you, but I can definitely see where family is, and I think she's a Georgia girl at heart.
There you go. Fun to dream about.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Now switching to a serious subject.
Okay.
Married life comes with challenges. There's stress from work and
Yes.
finances and health and you name it. Sometimes the world just throws crazy curveballs. There might be moments where I jokingly say their relationship might not be so much like a Hallmark movie as it is maybe
Yeah.
a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, who isn't?
So when maybe they're not seeing eye to eye or not getting along too well, what's some advice you might give these two?
Yeah, I think just remembering that you are doing life together and remembering that you are partners at the end of the day. And, you know, it is easy to get into an argument and try to push the other's buttons or to one up them. But I think at the end of the day, the goal is to come to a solution and do life together and find that commonality and, you know, try to agree to disagree. But I think understanding if you need to walk away or if you need to come together, but I definitely think that remembering you are partners and you're just trying to reach a solution that both of you all feel good at the end of the day. But I also think just dating each other, I think it took dating to get you to this point. And I think that, remembering to date each other while you're married and trying to come up with a routine potentially of trying to go on a date from time to time or go travel, but just remembering why you fell in love in the first place and being partners, I think would be the best advice I can give.
Beautiful advice. Love that. Love the dating part. So many couples fall into that rut, and that's it's a hard thing to not fall trapped to. So
Exactly.
I
And seeing their love, I don't see why they would ever not date. Just seeing them and how they look at each other and how they communicate, I can definitely see where that would be very easy. So.
Yes, ma'am. Finally, the best wishes for them. When they look back on this film 30 years from now, remembering everybody's faces and just what do you hope they remember from this experience, not only today, but what do you hope they've accomplished in life?
I think looking back and just remembering that you have a village with you, behind you, standing with you, and just how many people have come to the wedding, came to, experience the love that you and John have. I think that is a beautiful thing. And just remembering that, life isn't that hard. I think there will be challenges, but I think who to call and your support system will be there. I will be there. I think it's a beautiful thing to have family that shows up and, at the time of need, but also when, this is your joyous moment, right? So I think just remembering that we all love you and we're rooting for you and just to be happy and enjoy your life.
Well, so now here we are with the man with the hour day the entire weekend, Mr. John. It is your wedding day, sir, and the first question we've got to ask is, what are you feeling?
I'm ready. I've been ready for months. So, say I'm feeling something in specific, there's nothing.
No nerves?
None. I talk for a living.
There you go.
And I'm in front of people for a living, so it's just another day.
So we want to have some fun. We're going to turn the clock way back,
Okay.
and we want to hear your love story of how you and Melissa met. We'll get your side of the story.
All right. You hired her?
Mom's over here giving lots of input.
The story goes, I was a competitive bodybuilder about 8 years ago. And at that time, I worked for a very prominent railroad. And so whenever I would leave the gym, about 7 o'clock in the morning, I stopped at Starbucks to get coffee. She was a manager there. And so I come in, I order my coffee. Of course, they say hi, they give you all the pleasantries. And so after about the third time I came in, I had paraphernalia on that represented where I worked. And she says, "Oh, you're that company that's always holding me up when I'm trying to get to work on time." And I said, "Well, I apologize for that." I said, there's a saying on the railroad, the wants and needs of the many outweigh the wants and needs of the few. I said, so since we put you in the category of few, I tell you what, I'll make it up to you. She just happened to catch me in the flow. And she says, how you make it up to? I said, well, my bonus is coming up, right? For inconveniencing people such as yourself, I will do something I've never done before. And she says, what's that? I said, you'll see. And so I came back probably a week later, and I bought her this very expensive bottle of wine. I don't drink wine, but I know of wines. And so I took part of my bonus and bought her a very expensive bottle of wine and gave it to her. And so she says, well, where are you going to take me to drink this? I said, wow, okay, let's talk about it. And so at that point, we had a date at a far off place where we sat and had that wine and rabbit. We had stewed rabbit. It was delicious. Great conversation. After that, dropped her back off because we met at Starbucks to go to the date. She didn't know where I lived and I didn't know where she lived. So it was very intriguing at that point. So we dated a couple other times after that. And that's where the story begins.
Well, that's beautiful. You had the nerve to just make it happen.
Yeah. And so if I can add, at that time, I really wasn't in a place to receive such beauty. I really wasn't. I was in a very dark place. And so I conveyed that to her. Listen, I cannot give you what you're looking for. You're a good person. You're a great person. Let's just keep in touch. And so for 7 years, we had not seen each other. We hadn't talked. We hadn't met. And then one day, as I was sitting in my apartment in Alpharetta, I had hurt my back. And so it gave me plenty of time for myself. Well, she's in a sorority that my daughter is also part of that sorority. And they were celebrating Founders Day. And her, I don't know this thing with Facebook, it came up. I'm never on Facebook. I happened to be on Facebook. And sure enough, her picture popped up. And I said, oh my God, she is still gorgeous. But I think she's married because she had a ring on her finger. And I was like, well, I'm not being foul. I'm not doing anything dirty or disrespectful. Just want to send a text, hey, happy Founders Day. Don't know if you remember me or not. Happy Founders Day. You and my daughter share the same sorority. Left it at that. Well, that was in January. And I thought nothing of it, right? Her not responding. I don't do the texting, you text me back sort of thing, right? And so that was in January of 2024. She did not respond until June of 2024. She said she didn't know how. She had a girlfriend that was telling her, I keep sending you messages and you're not responding. And that's where she found mine. And so in June 2024, June 8th to be exact, my daughter's birthday, she responded. And so we reconnected at that point. And at that point, she lived probably 40 minutes away from me, where I lived, and we just talked and talked. The position I had at that time, I was up all night, so I worked from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And so after I had put what I call the babies to sleep, because I was now working in the mental health field, I can sit and talk to her for hours, and we literally talk for 4 or 5 hours almost every night. Every night. And then I said, we need to meet for lunch, at least for lunch. And so we met for lunch. She was late. I was nervous. First time in my life ever being nervous of meeting someone, right? Didn't know what to expect and that sort of thing. And we sat and we ate, and we talked some more. And then she had some things she was doing because she was doing an event. And I was preparing for my night position because I had private practice during the day and I worked at night. Starving mental health therapist is what I call it. At that time, she called me. No, I walked her to her truck and she saw me go get in mine. And then she called me, and she called me with tears. And I was like, what's wrong? She was like, I want to tell you about a dream I had. In this dream I had, there were 2 men. One was very prominent, and I knew his face and very well off. And the other one was nice to me and caring to me, but I could never see his face. And so where I was, he came in and said, hey, let me show you my new car. And she went outside with him in this dream, and the car was the color of my truck. And she said, that's what got me crying, because I had been praying to God that I'm ready for whomever you send me, because whoever you send for me is for me. And I was like, wow, that's a phenomenal story. That's a phenomenal prayer, right? I trust and believe in God too. And we both learned along the way that we had surrendered ourselves and our lives to that of Christ, and we stopped doing things in our mind and in our heart for ourselves. And the rest is history. Here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here you are years later and just a few hours away from making it.
Exactly.
As Stevie sang, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Signed, sealed, and delivered. Most certainly.
Wow.
Most certainly.
Beautiful love story.
Yeah, I think so.
So as you guys rekindled the relationship years later, what were some of the most fun things you did together that while you were getting to know one another?
I would say travel. So this young lady loves to travel. She loves to experience hotel riches, right? between her and her girlfriends, they all have these points, or they're able to gain access to hotels from friends and resources at a lower cost. And so the first thing, again, I'm still coming off of a bad back, and I'm having to walk. And she says, "Hey, why don't we get a getaway just for a day, to Greenville?" And I said, "Okay, I can do that. I have to work though, which means I didn't get off until 7 in the morning." And so I let her stay in my apartment because it was easier access to the highway at that point from where we were than having to come way out and pick her up and so forth. And so, "Hey, Mom, how are you, beautiful?" Excellent. Look at you. Look at you. And so, so I got off. She was staying at my apartment. I went and picked her up, packed a little bag, and off we drove to Greenville, South Carolina. And we spent a day at this very nice hotel. We just got to see the sights and sound of the city, and we went out to dinner. And the fun part about that was she didn't know the pain I had. Now, she was aware that I was in pain because she bought me a heating pad, and she pulled it out of her luggage when we unpacked and says, "Look what I have for you." And I said, "Oh my God, thank you. I need it so badly." I was in pain for that drive, but you couldn't tell I was in pain because I was also happy, right? So one outmasked the other. And so we had, in that time frame, we had a number of other trips where she opened up to introduce me to this beautiful lady here, who is her mom. It was her mother's birthday a little bit after that, and we were preparing for that. Also, her being an event planner, she was also preparing something for her mother, and that's when I got to meet Mom and her girlfriends and their moms, and just helping out. It was easy to just jump right in and help with the whole situation. So after that, we took another trip. This time it was for Thanksgiving, and again I was meeting more of her family in DC. And then I'm trying to think that we have another trip. Well, we had a trip before Thanksgiving. We went to Ohio. So this woman loves to travel, and she loves hotels. And so, okay, I'm for it. Now, my hotel travels were for work, right? Not as pleasant because I got to stay at a posh hotel, but get up and go work all day, if not 10, 12 hours a day, come back, sleep. So I never got to enjoy it. With her, she made sure that I enjoyed it. She made sure that I was comfortable. She made sure that I was at peace. And so it was just great traveling with her. We even traveled with Mom several times. So it's just awesome. Those are things that really stand out to me.
Fun way to just spend time getting to know one another.
For sure.
It's beautiful.
For sure.
All right, we want to hear the story of how all through the dating, you getting to know one another, realizing this is the woman of my dreams. We want to hear the story of how you worked up the courage and popped the question.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't like most stories you may have heard where people were nervous or something of that nature. For me, I always tell her it's easy loving her because she doesn't make it complicated. There really wasn't or hasn't been any rocky situations or conversations by which, we had to sit and figure out if this is going to work and so forth. We're able to have conversations about things that most people can't have conversations about. We're intentional, which is our word. Balance and intention is what we strive for in this relationship. And so it has been that phenomenally every day. Whether there's tension with me at what I do or tension with what she does, we bring each other into the fold of that just for a short, right? Just to release what those tensions are. But those tensions are not towards each other. And so it was in the midst of those hour-long conversations, I forgot what she said, but I remember saying, "Man, I'm going to call my jeweler." And she's like, "Really?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm calling my jeweler." I just knew. There wasn't anything that hit my soul or my heart to say, this is the one or that's the one or anything of that nature. It was just easy conversation, if that makes sense, right? So something out of the blue, something unexpected. And at that time, that just played in my head like, this woman brings me peace, right? Well, I have peace. She just makes sure that my peace is extended. Does that make sense? And so at that time, ironically, I had 3 rings. You know how you're scrolling through the internet and jewelers put out certain things that they have. And I was like, oh, I like that piece. I like this piece. And I happened to take pictures of them, and they were still in my phone. And so I came to her one Saturday, and I said, pick one out of the 3. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, pick one out of the 3. Tell me which one you like. And so the one that she's wearing is a slight variation differences of the one that she picked. So hers is unique. It was custom made overseas.
Oh, wow.
Overseas. Saved me a ton of money. And those guys did me very well. So even when I got it and I went to the store to pick it up, there were so many people there. They were like, she's gonna love it, right? Or do you guys have kids? And I'm like, no, you're gonna have kids after that one, right? Just things that people would say is just funny. And so with that, once I got it, I got in touch with her best friends, and I asked them to help me facilitate an engagement party, right? Something I'd never done. So I trusted these women. They just asked what was my budget, and that's what they worked within. And we kind of skated through the process, letting people know what was about to happen. And for one of her friends, she says, hey, I have a party I'm going to do for a friend of mine, which she was familiar with, Melissa was familiar with. And she says, well, how do we dress for us? Oh, just, dress, semi-formal, blah, blah, blah. And we're just going to hang out for that weekend, honey, and we're going to catch this show, and then we're going to go here. Okay, great, let's do that. And so when we got there, it wasn't as easy to get into the building. And then as we parked in the circular driveway of the hotel. The lady who was at the desk had to come let us in. And she says, oh, y'all are here for the engagement party? I was like, ooh.
Oh, no.
She's like, no, we're here for a party. We don't know about no engagement. So we go up the elevator, we get off the elevator. There's some other people, young people, just having fun and so forth. And as we're going through the door, she looks with this amazement. She sees people that she knows. All of her friends, her mother, her family were there. And she just started busting out with tears. And as she turned away, I pulled the ring out and I turned to her and just said what I said and asked her would she marry me. And that's how the engagement went.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You pulled it off.
I did pull it off.
You got a sweet surprise for her. There you go. The lady almost blew it.
She almost blew it.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
So now tell us about planning the wedding. You guys have an elegant hotel here. I mean, just the atmosphere, the ambiance is incredible right here by Truist Field. And how'd you pick the date? How'd you pick the people in your wedding party? How'd all that come together?
Well, if you've already talked to Melissa, Melissa shared with me that it was always her dream to have a winter wedding because she doesn't like the heat, even though she's from Miami. She likes it to be cold. And she wanted it on New Year's Eve. I can't fight either one. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to be married. So whatever makes you happy makes you happy. And I think we had looked at several places in Miami which were way too expensive. Didn't make sense for the money. And it just made sense. We just kept it here locally. And those who we wanted to invite, which is it's a small wedding. It's a small, intimate wedding. For her, I shared that I'm about this ceremony. I get that it's a wedding, right? But I'm about this ceremony because I'm a huge lover of Christ. And so that's what I wanted to be focused to be on. Now, again, I'm dealing with an event planner. I can only ride her coattail. She came home and shared with me things, right? And we came out here and we looked, and the people were very gracious and showed us around and told us what they could help us with and so on and so forth. And provided she was happy with what she was presented with. And I was good with that. As long as she's happy, I'm good. Right? And so that's how we came here to the Omni at Truist Park.
Wow. So tell us about the groomsmen in your group today. Tell us about all the men standing up there with you guys being a part of your wedding.
Interesting. So the groomsmen are short. There's only two. My best man is a gentleman that I met about 4 years ago. He and I were working for a medical company in technology. So when I left the railroad, I took an early retirement because there were certain requirements I had to do in order to graduate, and the railroad wasn't accommodating to that, which meant I had to take an early retirement, lose money, resurface on how to make money, and I ended up at this company that sold medical equipment. And so he and I met at that time. I think it was just a little bit after the pandemic, and we were in the office sparingly, and he had just moved up from Miami, ironically, because they had offered him a job. And so he traveled from Miami after a bad relationship to Atlanta to work at that one company, and he has an autistic son. So he and his son, the relationship was here in Atlanta. It didn't work out, and he and his son ended up in one of those extended stay hotels or something like that. And so he would share that story, and it was one particular moment where we both were in the office, and he broke down crying. Now, if you see Ron is about 6'1". He was at the time probably close to 300 pounds. He's a little skinnier now. And he just broke down crying. He was frustrated because things weren't happening in his life. And I could compute with that, but he was also a great guy. I commended him for raising his son on his own and trying to make a living and a life for himself. And so we got closer that way. We shared our love for God. We had some prayer, and we just kept encouraging one another. And so as I think I was departing from that company because I was moving to private practice, and things were finally opening up, and I was getting an apartment, which was in Alpharetta, Georgia, but I still lived in Smyrna. God laid upon my heart, ask him if he could afford the rent. And I said, hey man, I'm moving. Before I close this out, this is what I pay a month in rent here in Smyrna. Can you handle it? Well, the greater part about his turmoil was that it turned into a great story. He ended up getting a job with the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia. Now, anybody that gets a job with the state of Georgia, you're gonna know you're gonna be there. And so he got a job with the state of Georgia. Well, I believe it was Georgia State or Georgia Tech, one of the two. And he says, yeah, I think I can handle it. I said, well, great. I'm going to move to Alpharetta. I'll let you have this. What kind of furniture do you have? Because where I'm going is smaller. I'm paying more, but it's smaller, and I can't take everything. So you're more than welcome to use what I have. I said, at some point, I'm going to come get it, but I don't have to pay for it in storage. And that's how we transitioned and been friends ever since. The second gentleman in the wedding is Melissa's nephew. His name is Branford. Incredible young man. Incredible. Through some personal triumphs, some personal turmoil, this young man has stood that test of time. And he has all my respect. I believe he's 30. And not only through that, he's been able to amass working for a very prominent software company, as well as starting his own prominent software business. Stellar gentleman. Just seemed fitting for where we are, because the ceremony, again, is centered on Christ and what it represents and what we're representing in Christ. And so therefore we wanted people who had like minds of where we are and what we're doing. We didn't want any wayward people, right? People that had drama in their lives or, anything else that just didn't fit the scope of where we were going. It's not that we say, you're not good for us. It's just at this moment in time, this is where we are, and this is very important for us. And that's why it is a small wedding with just the right amount of people who are very prominent for the invite.
Well, that's perfect. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So, switching gears a little bit, we're going to have some fun. We've interviewed a lot of ladies today. We still got to get gentlemen interviewed.
Okay.
So, some fun predictions about today. Even though you guys have already seen each other, and we will during picture time, when the ceremony begins, the emotions kind of hit.
Most certainly.
And we don't know how they're going to hit each individual
You're right.
a certain way, but if you had to predict when Melissa comes walking down the aisle and you turn around and see her and you guys lock eyes, between the two of you, who's going to shed those happy tears first?
If I had to predict, I'd probably say B. No, I'd probably say her. Because we got somewhat of a glimpse of that. She chose this song in which she's coming in on. And while she is very resilient in nature, she does have this soft side that she lets go every now and then. And so this has been her dream moment, and I'm all for it. Now, I'll shed tears because she's crying, because that's how close we are. But I always look at this thing, always expect the unexpected, right? So I never know. It could be me, it could be her, I don't know.
We'll have the cameras rolling, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. Perfect. All right, so some fun things later on, once the party gets started and people going to let loose from the formalities.
Okay.
Who should we keep the cameras trained on for the most hilarious moment, funny speech, crazy dance, you name it?
Her cousins. The two twins. And then there's another one that she grew up with. He may be reserved, I don't know. We'll see, but definitely the twins.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what
I
happens.
know they were rehearsing their, I think their entrance dance, or not an entrance dance, but the post-entrance dance,
Oh,
I
wow.
guess.
Okay. Wow.
So we might have some fun times then.
How about it?
All right, now for some fun predictions about you guys' lives.
Mm-hmm.
This one everybody dreams about from time to time. Not sure if you play the lottery or not, but if you were to just on a whim buy that Mega Millions Powerball ticket, like 1.7 billion,
Mm-hmm.
you happen to come home from the office, Melissa's just bouncing off the wall. You're like, what in the world? What's going on? We've just won $850 million. We've just hit a lot of money.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys would want to do with that money, and where would you maybe build a forever dream home, mansion, you name it?
Well, let me start with, she's not going to wait till I come home. She's going to call me. She will do that. What we would do with the money was that we've already talked about certain goals in life should they happen, and one of them is setting up trust for those who are prominent in our lives, so that they would have the ability to not be stressed about money, so that you can go out and fulfill your dreams and do what's necessary. I don't know if she shared with you, but I have 3 kids in total, with 2 who are very goal oriented. And in fact, we do have a daughter that just went to St. Kitts to become a veterinarian. So we're supporting her in every aspect of that. So again, just making sure that those who we trust and love are set up for good. Secondly, our forever home, we have a place, we have an area in mind that we like and we talked about. That I always deem it quality of life, right? Because I want to be able to get to Starbucks coffee, Publix, and the gym. Anything else around there, I'm good, all right? Those 3 things are quality of life for me. And And so, yeah, we talked about being able to build that forever home, by which we will make room for our mothers, right? They will have some space that is their own, right? It's like a home on the home. It's somewhat like a family compound. So they would have their own freedom. You can drive to your house and your driveway and your kitchen, your living room, and so forth. But the factor that we'll all be there, right, will give you a better quality of life versus being by yourself.
A lot of people dream of that nowadays, kind of having the family compound,
Family compound.
1,000 acres away from all the crazy world that we live in nowadays.
How about it? Yeah.
All right, some other fun predictions. If the lottery doesn't come true and you guys just live out your lives and good Lord continues to bless you, you think you'll still remain here in Atlanta, or do you have plans to maybe venture off and try somewhere new, if only just like a vacation home or something like that?
Well, the ironic piece to traveling and living somewhere else was a dream of mine before we reconnected. In fact, I was about to move to Texas. In that part she knew. And so, would we stay here in Atlanta for the powers that be and the people in our lives? Yeah, we would stay here in Atlanta.
All right. What are some of your other goals in life? Like, if you had to predict how many grandchildren you'll eventually wind up with, you got to pull a number out of a hat. Pure speculation, 'cause 20 years from now, you can look back and see if it actually happened.
So, I am an older gentleman, a seasoned gentleman. I do have 3 grandchildren already, 17, 13, and 11. We're not going to have any kids, so we're going to mask all our love into them. So the 3 children, the 3 grandkids. Now, whatever comes out of that, we're going to embrace them and love them. She has her niece and nephew, who we consider her kids also. So we're prayerful that they'll meet someone that will give them the quality of life and have children and so on and so forth. If I had to predict the number, I would probably say right now 6.
6.
6.
All right, there's the prediction.
6.
The fun part about the grandkids is you can spoil them and then send them right back home.
Most certainly. Most certainly.
Oh, goodness. All right. Finally, to wrap things up, you've done a wonderful interview. Thank you for that. It's every little girl's dream to find her Prince Charming and have that wonderful wedding day. But tell us about what this day really means for you. I mean, you met her, you went years, and then you rekindled the relationship. The good Lord had it intended in His timing. That's what they always say. It's not about your timing, it's His.
Honestly.
But what is today really, I mean, making it official, even though, I mean, you guys have been together a while and built this. What does this day really mean to you? And when she watches this, what do you want to say to her on how much it means?
When she watches this, I want her to know that I had some reflection actually today. And the reflection that I had today, just driving, was that this is the perfect will of God. This is the perfect will of God. And the reason I say that is because she knows all that I've incurred, all that I've been through. I know part of what she's incurred and what she's been through. And while most people will fall by the wayside and not think about love and if love even exists, yet alone getting married, right? We scramble and we go through life day in and day out haphazardly. It is what it is, right? But for God to come full circle and pull us together after 7 years, which is somewhat of completion, and then bring us into the fold in the 8th year, renewing, it is His perfect will. And so I would want her to know that. It is God's perfect will. And with that, we can't fail.
I think it feels good. I mean, I didn't really, everybody's asked me if I'm going to be nervous and are you scared and all that, but I'm actually marrying my best friend, someone who loves and adores me, and I do for him also. So it's easy. It's easy. So today is a good day. I do events, so I enjoy doing events. So to do my own wedding, to do our wedding together, it is very, it's something that I do and I enjoy. I love doing it. So it's something I look forward to. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, you guys don't seem stressed at all. So
No,
that's a good thing.
no, not stressed at all.
So, from your story or perspective, we heard John tell us all about how you guys met and
Yeah.
his rekindling of the relationship. But you tell us your side of the story on how you guys met, fell
So
in
he
love.
chased me down on himself and begged on himself. No, but really, I was working at Starbucks, and I noticed. Of course, he's a handsome man, and so I noticed that, right? But more so than anything, initially it was just truly satire in regards to he used to work for Norfolk Southern, and he came into the store one day. He had the jacket on. Well, when I come to work, because I always have to come over railroad tracks, Norfolk Southern, if I'm running late, you best believe the train is going to make me even more delayed. And he happened to have on like I think it was a jacket or a vest or something, and it had the logo of Norfolk Southern. And I was like, oh, so you the people that's making me late every morning. Like, what is up with you in this train thing? And that just kind of kicked off the banter. And then I remember he said something really sweet, like, for your inconvenience or something, he bought me this real nice bottle of wine. And me being who I am, a little slick, I was like, well, when we gonna drink it? And so we went out to dinner. We had the wine and had a great time and all that good stuff. But nothing came out of it at that point. And it wasn't that it was a bad thing or anything like that. We just were not, I don't know. It's like you're not on the same page. He wasn't, but I wasn't really ready to move forward. I don't think he was ready. And we just kind of let nature have its way, and organically, we were good with it. And then fast forward about 7 years, he reached out, and but he reached out in January, and I didn't see the message until June, into May, June. And I was very apologetic because I think when people will take time to at least say hello, and he was giving me a congratulatory message for my sorority anniversary. And I was like apologetic, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't see this message, and da-da-da-da. And long story short, that's how we reconnected. And we would talk for hours every night. We finally went out to dinner, and then I had some dreams from God, I'm definitely going to say. And certain things in the dream came to pass. And I was like, he is really my person. Like, this is my husband. This is my person. And so it just kind of happened like that. Just really easy and just peaceful and loving and caring. So it's the best relationship I've ever had in my life. And that's why we're here today.
In God's timing,
In God's timing, it all
go.
works.
Beautiful. So, what were some of the most favorite things you like to do or recall doing as you guys were getting to know one another?
Well, we love to travel, so we're going to always do that. We enjoy a nice, well-appointed hotel because we just like the ambiance. When you're getting away, even if it's just for one day, it's something about going to a really, really nice hotel, and it starts from the moment valet greets you to the staff at the front desk. It's just the whole experience, and we really, really enjoy that. And one of the first places we went to was just in Greenville, South Carolina, but one of our favorite hotels is there. So definitely travel for us is something that allows us to get to know each other even better in a very relaxed state. And we're never stressed, so I shouldn't say relaxed because we're always kind of laid back, but yeah, it's enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Beautiful. So now we heard John's side of the story on how he worked up the nerve and pulled off the surprise to pop the question.
Yeah.
We want to hear your story because I heard the front desk person almost gave it away.
So here's the thing. We were we do these date nights, and sometimes we'll do a date night and we'll stay at a hotel locally and just have a good time. So I thought it was date night, and I'm like, well, are we going somewhere like fancy? So that's one conversation. Then at the same time, my best friend, Catherine, she does these various events called Moments of Pause. And she was orchestrating this experience for men. She normally does it for women, but she was doing it for men. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And I said, well, let me see if Honey wants to come. And he was like, oh, yeah, we'll go. So I said, well, we'll be there. So it happened to be the same night as date night. So I was like, no, we just got to go by for a quick second and then we can go on our date. Because I told Catherine we were coming. So that's what I thought we were doing. But then I was like, well, do we want to be fancy or whatever? He was like, yeah, let's get, dress up, be a little fancy. I said, oh, okay. We going all out. This is what I'm thinking. This is the conversation that we're having. So we get dressed up, and I was like, now when we, Catherine doesn't notice. I was like, now when we go, we are literally gonna go and we're gonna leave. Like, she will go and So I'm thinking that's what we're doing. So we go to this apartment in downtown Atlanta that has a beautiful rooftop. So I know about that. I know it's going to be up there. And I know Catherine's having her event. And it's a nighttime event. And, it's going to really be for the guys. So I'm expecting it to be kind of laid back. And so we park, we get inside. And I remember the person kind of helping us, but it was a lot going on with other people trying to get on the elevator. So that's really what distracted me because I was being nosy. Imagine that. So I didn't hear the gentleman telling us or mentioning the engagement. I didn't hear him when he said it. So I wasn't in tune to him. I was more in tune to all the hustle and bustle of the other people on the elevator. So when we got upstairs, I was like, oh, this is really nice. And when we got to the door, of course, I saw Kathy, I saw Melody, and I saw a couple of Ravens. But me and my honey, we always hold hands. He kind of let my hand drift off. And I was like, what's going on? And that's when I looked at the crowd and I can see who was there. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. As a woman, you kind of, your intuition comes in, you're like, okay, is this going down? Or let me be calm. And then, but all of these emotions are happening in real time. So, but that's how he pulled it off because my besties helped him.
Yeah, he told us
But
that
it was
he had all
wonderful.
of your friends helping, so he pulled it off.
He pulled off a good one because they had me going. They sent me an invitation to the Moment of Pause. I had to talk to him about it and RSVP and all of that. So I really thought we were just doing a pop version of just stopping by and then we were going to go ahead and go on to our date night. But that's not what happened. But it was good. It was a good time. It was a real good time.
Beautiful. So, what are you guys' honeymoon plans? After all the festivities are done for tonight, where are you guys heading off to just spend some alone time?
We're going to do planes, trains, and automobiles. And we're going to go down to Florida and do some beach time, do a little Disney time, and just have you relax.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You spending a week, 2 weeks?
No, we're just going to be gone for some days.
Just a few days.
Just some days, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have some fun. We've asked a lot of people these same questions, including John, your sweetheart. Now we're going to see what your prediction is for today and then you guys' lives.
Okay.
First question is, even though you've already seen each other, like you said, you don't have any superstition.
Right.
When the formalities start, when you start walking down the aisle and he turns around and sees you, you see him. Between the two of you, who's going to be overcome with emotion more and who might tear up and have happy tears first?
He will.
Your prediction is him. I think he did yesterday during rehearsal.
He did. Yeah.
It was a beautiful rehearsal, so
Yes.
we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Who should we keep the cameras trained on later once everybody starts letting loose a little bit? And is it going to be a funny dance, a speech, toast? Who should we keep an eye on for the most crazy thing?
Well, I have a slew of nieces and nephews, so be on the lookout. That's all I can say.
That's what we've heard. Right? We've heard some folks predict that, so should be some great moments for video.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. All right. So what do you guys think as far as, everybody that's here celebrating with you? What does it mean to you to have all your family and friends? Because you guys have had a more intimate wedding. You haven't invited a ton of guests, but
No.
the people that are really, truly a part of your lives. And what does that mean to just have them all here? And some of them have traveled in from a good distance, maybe.
Absolutely. So it means a lot when the action of someone showing up for you.
Well, so now as far as people traveling in and
Right.
spending time with you guys, who do you think traveled in the farthest distance today?
Ooh, the farthest distance. It's going to be my nephew's best friend, DeMarcus Edwards. He flew in from San Francisco. I'm assuming he's here by now. He was doing a red eye last night.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I think
Flew
that's
cross country.
Yeah, cross
Beautiful.
country. He's a traveler, honey. He'll do a 7-hour flight thinking it was 10 minutes. He travels a lot.
So now, speaking of travel, we're going to ask this one's fun to dream about. Everybody dreams about this. Let's say you guys just play that Mega Millions Powerball lottery, that 1.7 billion that was just a few weeks ago. And somehow you don't think about it, check the numbers a few days later, and oh my goodness, we've just won $1 billion. You've got it in the bank. What do you think you guys would want to do with that money, and where would you want to build your forever dream home?
Ooh. Well, the first thing we'll do with the money, there's a lot of family and God's work that needs to be done in that space. So we have 2 children. I got 2 bonus children with my husband. Well, 3 bonus children with my husband. So there's some things we want to address with that. We have seasoned parents. We want to make sure they're good. My alma mater is FAMU, so I definitely want to give back there. So there's just some basic responsibility that will be taking place. There will be some fun, and it will not be, with that kind of money, there will not just be a dream home. It would be more of a couple of places we love to go. So, of course, somewhere in Europe. My husband loves cold climate, so we definitely want to accommodate that. But my husband loves warm climate. I love cold climate. So I will want somewhere cold, and we will get him somewhere warm.
Fun to dream about.
Yes.
You could have some Caribbean island you guys own, and then some villa in the Alps or something.
Or, the Alps, or Aspen, or I don't know, Park City, Utah.
Private jet, just tour the world. There you go. All right. Finally, to wrap it up, because I know you got a lot of things to do.
Okay.
It's every little girl's dream to find her sweetheart, have her wedding day. And you guys have been together a long time and built so much on faith and family.
Exactly.
When he watches this film, eventually you drag him in and say, honey, sit down and watch it.
We gotta watch it.
What do you want to say to him on just how much this day and he means to you?
Oh my goodness. When you are aligned with God's purpose, you are created for one. And I love you for being that one.
Okay, I am Patrice Rollins. I met Melissa at Florida A&M University over 30 years ago, and we've been friends ever since then. We're sorority sisters as well.
So you've known her a long, long time. My goodness.
Yes.
So we're going to dig into some stories and have a little fun.
Okay, definitely.
So what was it like years ago, just hanging around her, being her friend? Was she always the well-behaved princess, or could she be a little mischievous from time to time?
So Melissa is definitely the party starter. She definitely enjoys making people laugh and being positive. She keeps you in check when need be, but definitely a great friend, great sister friend. Always been the planner from every event, whether we've had house parties or um, Friendsgiving or any events, coming to Atlanta to the Florida A&M Classic Games. She's been the planner, so this has definitely been her space.
Awesome. So tell us about the first time you heard about John entering her life.
Well, I heard some voices in the background, and we always have some code words, and we can be transparent or not, and my sweetie this and my honey that, and I had to get the details. So it's been a great experience just to see her with this joyous facial, always laughing and smiling, and so I've enjoyed seeing her in this space.
Beautiful. So, fun predictions from your perspective. When they see each other at the ceremony, who do you think will tear up and have happy tears or cry first?
I think Melissa will definitely tear up, and she's gonna laugh it off, but she's definitely gonna have some tears. But they're gonna be happy tears.
It was emotional even at the rehearsal last night,
Yes.
so I have a feeling there will be a lot of tears, a lot of joy. Beautiful. All right, some fun predictions about their lives.
Okay.
How many grandchildren do you think, once all is said and done, 25, 30 years from now, when they look back on this video, if you had to predict a number, what do you think they'll have total as grandchildren?
Maybe two. Maybe two.
Maybe two.
Maybe two.
All right.
A girl and a boy.
Girl
And I
boy?
know she will definitely enjoy both. They have a huge lineage of prissy individuals, so she will love the girl experience.
Awesome.
She's been the mom girl to all of her nieces. Yes.
Yeah, the nieces told some fun stories about
Okay.
that. And what they call it?
The auntie weekend camp.
Yeah, the auntie
camp
get-together or
weekend.
something like that.
Yes. Auntie camp.
Auntie camp. That was it. So, what about predictions for where they might settle down and call their forever dream home? You think they'll stay here in Atlanta or maybe venture off and try somewhere different?
They definitely will have a vacation spot somewhere where it's cold, because Melissa loves the cold.
That's what we've been told. She likes the cold weather. Well, if they were to win the lottery, they call you up someday and say, girl, you won't believe this. We've just won $500 million. We've hit the Mega Millions, Powerball, whatever. Where do you think they'd want to build that forever dream home? Or maybe they'll have two or three. Who knows?
2 or 3. Definitely somewhere cold, somewhere international. They'll have a vacation spot. Maybe an RV to travel, because she definitely loves to travel and explore.
That'd be fun.
In an exotic car.
There you go.
Yes.
And don't forget the private jets for you to fly you guys around.
Exactly.
I need to fly up to Seattle. All right. Switching gears.
Okay.
Married life comes with challenges, stress. There's outside people always interfering, and sometimes you just have a bad day at work. You never know. What's some advice you might give these two for maybe when they might be, as we say in the Deep South, spatting at one another?
I have a few. I would definitely say communication before you even get to that point. Don't go to bed angry. Definitely have some safe words and have some, to respect each other, and just remember this day, because whatever got you to this day, we want to keep you in this day. And people can tell you it's all going to be glorious or whatever, but you just have to be honest. And there's realistic times when you say the vows, mean what you say, for the good times, the bad times. There's some illness and there's some health to, face those challenges ongoing with knowing that we're here for the duration.
Excellent
And
advice.
to keep others out of your business.
Oh, that's a good one too. I love that. Sometimes I joke with couples. I'll say it's not always a Hallmark movie. Sometimes it looks more like a Lifetime movie,
Exactly.
at least at the moment. All right. Finally, the fun stuff, the sentimental stuff, things when they look back on this film 30, 50 years from now, they're celebrating their golden wedding anniversary. What do you want to say to them in hopes that they remember and what all they've accomplished in life?
I would say just reflect on what got you here, to hold on to the good times, and definitely not put pressure on yourselves, and just enjoy the moment. Continue to date each other, and to be spiritually sound and keep God in your life.
Well, so here we are doing a video interview of Mother of the Bride, and the first thing we've got to ask is, what are you feeling? All the excitement and everything, how's it feel?
I feel so blessed and so excited. This is a day that I have wished for my daughter, to find a person who is loving and caring and spiritually connected. And so I am just, there's nothing I could wish for as wonderful as today really is.
So we want to have some fun and turn the clock back a little bit. Now, my mother used to tell me when I was young, and that was a long time ago, but I don't know if it's a Southern thing, but when I would act up as a teenager, she would say, son, when you have kids, I hope they turn out just like you. So here's your chance, when their grandchildren and even great-grandchildren watch this video, what was Melissa like growing up? Was she always the perfect little angel, or could she test your patience?
Melissa was something special. Her sister, my middle daughter, used to always say, well, Mom, you know, she's that third child, so she is going to be crazy. And Melissa did things every night. She would put on her brother's high-top sneakers, Groucho Marx glasses, and come out and entertain us, and we would laugh at her same jokes, same thing she did. That was Melissa. She always was the life of the party, the merry one, the happy one, just a people person. She was fun on legs.
That's beautiful. She's probably going to kill me for asking these questions, but it's always fun to hear stories.
Yes.
So as she was growing up, what was she into, like sports, or what did she do in school and some of the things you remember?
She was a very good math student. Math is her area, but she enjoyed sports. She always did, and she went out for cheerleading. And so she was really, really good, but she didn't make it at that point. But she always had an affinity for having people around her and doing things. So anything that was going on, Melissa would be a leader.
That's beautiful. Fun to look back and remember these things. They grow up so fast.
I can't tell you how true that is.
Yes, ma'am. Blink twice and here they are getting married.
Yeah, yes.
So now we want to have some fun. Tell us about the first time you met John.
Well, Melissa, being the mature lady that she is, over the years, I never really met any of the guys in particular, but this one, she said, Mom, I want you to meet John. And so they picked me up from church, and we went to Starbucks, which has a history with them, and we had such a delightful time. I found out how wonderful and how blessed he is, and how just a kind, wonderful person. So I was very pleased. And so because she had gone out of her way to make sure I actually met this one in the flesh, I was really looking for something special, and he was.
So you kind of knew that this was pretty serious, that she was having him meet you.
Yes, this was a serious matter at this point.
So tell us about when you heard about the proposal. Were you at the party?
Oh, yes, I was.
Okay.
I was. It was like a Hollywood story. You just would not believe when we got there. I knew that the pretense that they were using to get her there, and we were all in this area that had glass doors. So as you're coming down the hallway, you could see there's a party going on down there. But she was expecting that because she thought it was her friend's event. And when she got to the doorway, I think when she saw her brother and me, then it began to click, you could see. And then she started to cry. And of course, John comforted her. And then the part that to me was like a Hollywood story, after he comforted her and had his arm around her, he reached in his pocket and pulled out this box and the ring and said, "Will you marry me?" I mean, it was Hollywood.
Wow.
Dream come true, all kinds
Yes,
of things.
ma'am.
So it was it was fun. It was exciting.
So you were all in on it. She had
yes,
no
yes,
idea.
and they really fooled her because over the years at Christmas time, Melissa always knew where her gifts were, and she would always find them. She always claimed, you can't fool me. So this is one time her friends really got her because she had no inkling that this was going to be the engagement party.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really.
Fun memories. So now we're going to flash forward to today and get some fun predictions from Mom on what you think might happen here in just a couple of hours. So when the ceremony begins, and she comes walking through those doors down the aisle towards John, John sees her. Between the two of them, who do you think might tear up first?
Melissa doesn't think she'll tear up first because she, that's her general thing. She holds things together, but she does cry such sincere tears. And I think the song that he saved the best for me and saved something to that effect, that was her feelings about what was happening with her and John. So I think Melissa might surprise herself and tear up first.
All right. Who should we keep an eye on when the reception happens and everybody gathers in here, and once things start letting loose and they get all comfortable and start partying, who should we keep an eye on for the most hilarious?
I have a set of twin nephews.
Uh-oh.
They're not as identical as they used to be, because they're grown and they've gotten different sort of looks. But they are a fun pair, and they do fun things. And I know that they're going to do something.
I'm looking forward to that one. We've already been warned about them.
So okay,
that's
yes,
awesome.
everybody knows now.
Perfect.
Courtney and Corey.
Awesome. All right. Now some fun predictions about their lives. Now I guess it would be great-grandchildren for you, but eventually when they have grandchildren, if you had to pick a number, when they watch this video 20 years from now, how many grandchildren do you think total they will have?
Well, given the fact that they are a more mature couple, I'm not anticipating them to have children, but they have, both of them, so taken in their nieces and their nephews and, what have you, that those are the ones that are going to be having children that they will be in the role of grandparents in a delightful way. And I would think there's 10 of, because there are a number of nieces and nephews.
That's true.
So I'm thinking that that is the point where they will be more grandparents rather than, I don't anticipate them at this time having their own. So they've been doing it all their lives, and this is going to do more of it.
You're going to be busy with probably a
yes,
lot.
because they love Aunt Melissa and Uncle John. They just do.
Well, I told them that's the fun part, is they can spoil them and then send them home.
Yes, yes.
That's the fun part of being a grandparent, I guess. All right. Now switching to a serious subject. Married life comes with challenges from time to time. There's stress from work and all the things you've got to do. And sometimes they may not agree on a certain topic, or they might be spatting at one another. What's some advice Mom wants to give these two to keep their relationship happy and just keep them at peace?
I would wish for them to continue what they have already started, being anchored in the Lord, depending on Him to guide them, to help them to overcome whatever rough spots there are, because He loves them. And it is His love that I think brought them together at this point in their lives. So
Amen to that.
Stay anchored in the Lord.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Finally, the sentimental stuff. I don't want to make you cry, but when they look back on this at their 50th wedding anniversary, and maybe we're all gone and home with the good Lord.
Yes.
what do you hope they just remember about today, and what do you want to say to them as far as best wishes, and what do you hope they've accomplished in life?
I hope that they will have accomplished the road they're on, which involves people and working with people, helping people, loving people, especially family. And at a 50th wedding anniversary, I could see them just rolling out those memories that they have with today and in the future, because family has meant so much to them. And you see that their wedding acknowledges the love of family members who are no longer with us. So I just think that that will be a big thing of wonderful memories and laughing and all the stuff that goes with enjoyment at that would be a wonderful time.
Congratulations, Brother Love.
Yes, congratulations. We love you both. We wish you the best in this new journey of yours. We love you.
Congratulations, Aunt Melissa and Uncle John. Cheers to the best years of your life.
Well, so here we are with Mom of the groom, finally getting a video interview. First off, what'd you think of the wedding?
It was beautiful.
You have a great time?
Yes, always.
Well, tell us some best wishes or advice you might give them for life's journey ahead. Plenty of things that might cause them to have a hiccup or a spat once in a while. So what's some advice you want to give Melissa and John?
To recognize, first of all, their covenant is with Christ. People come as a witness, but the covenant begins with Christ. And if you keep him the head of your life, then you cannot go wrong. Gain knowledge through biblical teaching, reading, and ask God for understanding. Seek him first for wisdom. Know that you grow in your marriage, because as you grow older, your husband becomes your best friend, your confidant. Time is short, life is precious. Don't waste it. Understand too that when there are children involved in a marriage, be they grown or not, give them love and show them what marriage is all about. Be that great example for your adult children and for your relatives around you that one day will get married as well.
That's beautiful advice. Amen to that. I love it. So if you had to predict the future, how many grandchildren do you think, when they watch this 25 years from now, how many grandchildren do you predict they'll have total? You had to pick a number.
Well, the two of them will not have any grandchildren, I don't think, at their age, you know.
Well, they've got 3 now. They've got 3 kids of John's, I guess.
John has 3 children. He has 2 girls and a son. And so at some point or another, I hope that they will have more children. His oldest daughter, she has 3 kids, which means that they are his grandchildren.
They've already got grandchildren.
So they've already got some grandchildren. Okay. So let your life be an example to them.
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful advice. What about any final predictions on, do you think they'll stay here in Atlanta or maybe eventually move off somewhere?
No, I believe that they'll be rooted and grounded here for the rest of the duration. Yeah.
Nice to stay close to family.
Yeah, I know that she is from Georgia and John is from Virginia. But he left and came to Georgia many, many years ago. And so I don't expect that he will return to Virginia. So they'll probably be here.